Hello, everyone. I'm David Riggleman, Communications Director for the City of Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us for Access City Council. Coming up on this show, we are very excited to introduce you to the new City Councilwoman for Ward 3. It's Olivia Diaz. Councilwoman, so glad you could be here. This is your very first Access City Council show. Welcome.
Thank you, David. It's exciting for me, too, to be here today with you for the very first time. So
we've got a lot to talk about.
Thank you for breaking me in.
Oh, of course, of course. It's a pleasure to have you here. And you've already hit the ground running as a City Councilwoman. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We have some special guests coming on today that we want to tell you about. So it's going to be a great show for your very first one all the way around.
It's a great ward, so we have a lot to showcase all the time.
You grew up in this ward. You know it very well because you've been from a child to an adult in this ward. But for those out there, if you're not exactly sure where Ward 3 is located, well, don't worry. We're going to show you. It's basically the east side of the city of Las Vegas with the big three on it. It encompasses our downtown area and then extends out to the east. If you live in that area, work in that area, your brand new councilwoman for that area is now Olivia Diaz.
Yes, and basically when I was a young child, I grew up off of 28th and Cedar. And years down the road when I was in middle school, my parents had saved enough money to purchase their first home, which they are currently still in, off of Washington and Eastern. And so I truly feel like Las Vegas is home and Ward 3 is where the best people live.
You said something on the day that you were sworn in. You said, I was once a little girl who grew up in this ward, now I get to represent it. And I thought that was such a poignant thing to say that day. So
yes, I do truly believe that it's been a community effort to help me along. From the time I was a young child to a young adult to a young professional. I'm a Clark County School District teacher for 17 years, and I do feel that it's a sense of community and the sense of having people genuinely care about you. That's what I want to capture and make sure we bring it to Ward 3 to make sure that those coming behind us feel that they're empowered and they can do great things to move our city and our communities forward.
That's a great reason to run for office all the way around. Well, I love this. You posted this on Facebook. You said, wow, what a day. It was so memorable to have my family by my side today as I was sworn in as the first Latina serving on the Las Vegas City Council. Of course, this was July 3rd. The election was back on June 11th, but July 3rd was the swearing-in day for you and Councilman Knudsen from Ward 1 and Councilwoman Seaman from Ward 2. But you and your family were there as also. You were up third to be sworn in that morning. That was an unprecedented day because we had 3 council members all sworn in on the very same day.
Yes, and the order, Ward 1, Ward 2, Ward 3.
Right.
But it was an amazing day for me, just having all of my family be there by my side. And
your husband holding the Bible there?
My husband holding the Bible, my 8-year-old son actually behaving pretty well for an 8-year-old. I had my grandchild from my oldest stepson who's also in attendance there, Aiden. So I just, it was really touching to me to see so many people turn out to see us get sworn in, and my parents were obviously very proud, as were my siblings, and
beaming,
it was a great day. And I know that the mayor mentioned it was probably one of the biggest families ever to be right there, and I really think family's important, so I felt they needed me there with me.
Councilman, you said you ran for office. You wanted to make everyone feel like they matter in the community. What are some of the things you really want to see accomplished in Ward 3?
So my wish list is what I heard through the campaign trail from the people that live in Ward 3 about making sure our infrastructure is updated and upgraded for our older communities. Ward 3 is one of the older wards.
Right.
And
Wards
so
1, 3, and 5,
yeah,
exactly.
We have a lot of historic sites. We have a lot of older neighborhoods. So sometimes updating sidewalks, putting non-existing sidewalks in, updating the lighting. That might be of, not the best quality. Just ensuring that there's a vibrancy for our community and that we're continually seeking ways for people to want to come and reinvest in our community, I think are very key. I obviously, my heart is in education, so I want to be very well connected to the schools and the community, and I feel like schools can bring community together. So I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of the administrators and hopefully having open doors mutually from the school to our office, from my office to the schools. And of course, I heard a lot of excitement over the Arts District that is in the ward and how that is an up and coming part of our city and efforts that we can do to make sure that we're providing everything visitors need to partake in that
Right.
amazing space.
It's an exciting time in your ward, South Main Street, for example, and that area near the Arts District. It's just exploding with new businesses and thriving restaurants, and it's kind of the new hit place to go. And so people are flocking in there. It's got to be exciting because Las Vegas will often reinvent itself, and your ward is definitely seeing that.
It is. I do, once I learned about the ins and the outs, I have a very dynamic, exciting ward that I'm just super honored to be here representing, and I'm already putting my ideas about events that we want to get going for the benefit of the community, and information that we might need to share so that we take advantage of everything we have to offer as a city.
One of the reasons we're doing this show, exactly. Well, you hit the ground running, no question. You were sworn in on the 3rd, and it seemed like, well, really we're going to see it from the 4th on. You were really busy. You posted this on Facebook: truly blessed this morning to be in prayer with Pastor Hatch and Pastor Cheryl Kuchka and all the attendees at the citywide unity prayer at the historic 5th Street School. And this took place back on July 13th. But this was a big community event, and this has been so important. While other cities have struggled with perhaps race relations, other tensions in the community, I think this type of unity in Las Vegas has really served us well, especially over the last 25 years, no question about it.
I do love the way that breakfast brought everybody together, and how we do have a very kind and caring community here. And I think a lot of people think that all we are is the glamour, the glitz, the lights,
right.
But really there's a deep soul that runs through here in our valley. And it was touching to hear the partnership that faith-based leaders have with Metro, and how we are working collaboratively to make sure that we're doing the quality work we want to see done for the constituents and the residents.
Heartwarming to see. Obviously a very diverse audience there from across the community. The police were involved, and again, I think that served Las Vegas well. As other communities have struggled with tensions within their community, Las Vegas has, thank goodness, been able to avoid a lot of that, mainly because of events and relationships that have been established, like we just saw there.
Yeah, the citywide breakfast, the prayer is, I think we all need it. We all need that rejuvenating. We all need to know somebody's actually thinking about us and is there in hard times, and can give us a helping hand when we need it.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I think that's instrumental work that Pastor Hatch is doing, and Pastor Kuchka, and they've reached out, and I'm excited to meet with them to see what we can do to continue to strengthen that relationship in Ward 3.
Yeah, they're mainstays in the community. And I love this too. Again, you didn't let any grass grow under your feet. Very first day, full day in office, you posted this on Facebook. Had the pleasure of joining Mayor Goodman and my colleagues, Councilwoman Victoria Seaman, Councilwoman Michelle Fiore, who's now our Mayor Pro Tem, and Councilman Stavros Anthony today at the 25th anniversary of the Summerlin Council Patriotic Parade. And it was warm that day, but you and your son climbed right up onto Big Red and took part in the parade that day.
I surprised myself. I'm like, oh, I can still climb that. But yeah, my son had a blast. All the council members did, as well as the mayor. And there was just an amazing turnout at that parade. We had a little bit of fun right after getting sworn in on the 3rd, and it was a good reason for the independence of our country. What
has been the biggest kind of surprise or revelation coming onto the council since you've been in office? It's interesting to hear new council members talk about what has that been?
Just the aha that there's so many things that you get to impact in a positive way. And that there's so many great city staff members that are doing the daily work to improve the quality of life for our wards, and that then we get to also augment and bolster some efforts by making sure that we're being proactive and reaching out, especially as we see different trends that are ward specific, and how we have an amazing team behind us to get things done. That's been really mind-blowing and exciting to see, and hopefully we get some really great partnerships going and trailblazing through the ward.
I think we've all been impressed with how hard you've been working since you came into office. You really have hit the ground running, as I said, but you've attended countless meetings, you take copious notes, you're obviously listening and paying attention, and that is just so rewarding to see. This is a person who's come into office who really is trying to do the right thing and to make a difference, and doing it for all the right reasons, and that's wonderful to see. It really is. So
thank you, David. It's just a testament of my parents ingraining in me that we need to work hard for things we want, and things don't come to us just by coincidence. We have to kind of make sure that we're informed, we're well versed, we know what we can and can't do. And I'm just here hopefully to be supporting greater things to build the Las Vegas community up.
Well, that's a perfect segue into our next segment that we're going to tell everybody about. We need to take a short break, but when we come back, a new career center opens in Ward 3 to offer employment assistance to residents at no cost. We tell you more about what the center offers right after this.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Welcome back, everyone. Here in Nevada, we have a low overall unemployment rate, but some communities still struggle with finding work. But there is help out there. A new one-stop career center in Ward 3 is now open in the East Las Vegas Library to offer free employment assistance to anyone interested. Who knew? Joining us today is Benita Fay, Director of the One Stop Operations, and Danielle Milam with the Las Vegas Clark County Library District. It is so wonderful to have you both here. This is Danielle, this is Benita, this is, of course, Councilwoman Olivia Diaz.
Thank you for being here.
Councilwoman, I didn't know this program existed until you told me about it. So I'm so thrilled to have them on the program.
I know, David, and I didn't know much about it either until I received an invitation to come out and do a somewhat like of a little kickoff event for the center at the library last week. And so when I was there and they shared all of the amazing work that happens, we needed to make sure that the community was aware that they had all of these resources at their fingertips.
Nevada enjoys low unemployment overall, as we said, but in certain pockets of the community, we've got a high unemployment right now. This is in the area of 89101. This is in the downtown, not too far from City Hall, Ward 3, Councilwoman's Ward. Ages 16 to 24, it's 21% unemployment. All ages 12.5. That is well above the state percentage right now, isn't it?
Correct, it is. And we often find that this population has multiple barriers to employment. That's why it's so high. And that's why one-stop career centers that we offer in the libraries offer ease of access and ways to help address those barriers so that we can help Nevadans get back to work.
Now, Benita, one thing I didn't know is that you've got a number of these centers. It's not just in Ward 3, but they're across the community, aren't they? How many altogether?
Yes, altogether there are 15 sites, and we are in 10 libraries across Southern Nevada.
And Councilwoman, I think what's so impressive, Danielle, the library, you talked about this. We think of it, well, it's books and resources, but obviously it's now helping people find jobs too.
That's right. We say we don't library like we used to, because taking that stodgy old noun and turning it into a verb, helping people with all kinds of new ways to advance their lives, whether it's through technology. The book is still our best friend, and we want everybody to learn to read and raise their educational levels. But this new service is something that is entirely surprising, unexpected, and truly needed in this community.
Why did the library district, of all the things in the community it could have embraced, it really embraced this one-stop career center? Why?
You know, the partnership really came about because we started looking at who lives in Vegas and what do they need. And quite frankly, it's a lot of working families, a lot of working people who, you know, the worst thing they want to do is go out and find a job. It's the hardest thing to do out there. So we looked at all the kinds of supports they might need. We want our kids to get tutoring after school so that they finish their homework. We want the kids to get connected to technologies, and we want them ready for those next jobs that are coming into Nevada.
So important.
So the digital divide, David, sometimes is real, right? My parents came to this country, worked really hard, but they didn't know how to help me navigate the employment just arena, period, or even educational higher ed. that was something that I kind of had to chart on my own or lean on other people to be mentored. And that's why I think the center is so important, because there's so many youth in my same situation with working class parents who didn't maybe have access to higher education, but they want the best for their kids, and what great mentorship to receive them from them as far as avenues and pathways, because I don't think that in today's society we can only think about higher ed as the best option for a career path, but we have amazing apprenticeship programs and
good point.
amazing diverse workforce that need workers, and so it's about finding out what the need is in order for us to
finding that fit.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly right. That's so worthwhile and so perfect. Danielle, for everybody that maybe isn't familiar, where is the East Las Vegas Library located?
It's right at the corner of Bonanza and 28th Street, so 2851 Bonanza.
And then, Benita, how many staffers do you have working out of that center?
It really is a collaboration of multiple agencies. So, for example, we have Rest Care that provides adult and youth services. We have the Division of Welfare and Supportive Services, where families can receive or sign up for cash benefits, or SNAP, which is also known as food stamps. We have Urban League Child Care there. So it's really a collaboration of multiple agencies to address multiple layers of barriers that exist.
Gotcha. Well, as the Councilwoman said, the digital divide, so much is online in this day and age. You can't do anything without going online, it seems. And being able to give people that connection to that technology, or where you can find those resources, is just so critical.
And I feel the library is a great space that is up and running with computer labs in there. They have people that will help you navigate. I recently had a brother looking for employment, and he's like, most of it is through online resources. And so if you're not in the know about how do you post your resume, how to put a resume together, then these individuals here are going to do so much amazing work in the community to make sure that they all have the skills to get connected to their next job opportunity, because they may have one currently, but maybe it's not one that's providing enough to pay everything they need, right? And so sometimes we have to think about, am I in the best career for me?
Great point.
And is there room for me to grow? And
where is that opportunity?
Exactly, and they can help them figure that out.
So, Danielle, Benita, I got to ask you, so what are the hot jobs out there that people need to get filled right now that some of us may not even be aware of?
Right now, I've seen a huge increase in manufacturing, which is something that I didn't see in the past. Also, in aeronautics, fixing airplanes, we've been seeing a lot of those.
Interesting.
And so
that's got to be a very good paying job. Yeah.
It is. And so we've partnered with CSN, with Dr. Zaragoza, to start building training facilities to train people in this. And that's one of the benefits of coming into the One Stop Career Center, is that if you're eligible, we can pay for training for you and get you certifications.
Who knew? Who knew any of this? This is so great. I'm so glad to have you on the show. This is all news to me, and I've been here a while, as you can tell. So, Danielle, I have to ask you, this is wonderful the library provides us. Do you have any other hidden secrets in these new facilities that the public needs to know about that we're not aware of, like One Stop Career Center?
Well, actually, even within the One Stop Career Center, the Library District is one of our region's biggest providers of English as a second language instruction. So we do have English language instruction. We actually have, as you were saying, online resources, one that can help people who are maybe missing a couple of high school credits get a real high school diploma. It's called Online Career High School, where you even get career coaching as you're finishing your high school degree. And then we have even some informal opportunities. For example, every Friday at the East Las Vegas Library, you can go over and join an English language conversation circle. Just hang out with the neighbors, and everybody practices their English.
Wow, that's great.
So
what a great resource. Yeah, exactly. Well, I want to tell everybody out there, Benita, how do they find you? If they're interested in contacting the One Stop Career Center, how do they do it?
Sure. They can do it several ways. One, they can come into one of our centers and get one-on-one help. That's absolutely free. They can also visit our website, www.nvcareercenter.org.
And you have a phone number too, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
We do have a phone number. They can contact the library and be transferred over to the One Stop Career Center.
All right, great stuff. Councilwoman, thanks for enlightening all of us.
Oh, no, I want
You know, so.
thank Danielle and Benita for coming on this first Access to City Council. I think it's important that folks know that we have plethora of resources out there for them, and we want to make sure that they are taking advantage when they're in need, or a family member or a friend or a neighbor is in need. So please help us spread the word.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Yeah,
Thank you
it's
very
great
much.
to have you both on the show. Excited to have you. Again, I learned something that you knew this, and I'm so glad that we had the discussion, because what a great resource for the community out there. Nothing better than finding a job that fits for what your skills and interests are, and that's what you guys are providing. You're helping bridge that connection. That's great.
And David, you know, it's so interesting to have all of these resources in one place.
Yeah.
The families don't have to jog all over town trying to get
I'm
this
going to go to
piece
the
or that.
library. Yeah, I can
That's
just go
right.
there and find what I need.
That's
That's
right.
awesome. Just like in the old days. All the answers were at the library. So, anyway, well, listen, thank you both so much. I have to have you back in the future with an update on how things are going, okay?
Thank you for having us.
All right, we need to take another short break right now, but when we come back, you'll meet the Ward 3 staff members. That's next, so please stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. The Ward 3 office is available to you whenever you have issues or concerns. We'd like to introduce you to the staff members who help keep Ward 3 running smoothly. With us today is Susan Finucane and Idolina Iturralde. Councilwoman, these are fantastic staffers. I've worked with them for many years, and I think it was very wise on your part to keep folks who, they know the city, they know the organization, they've been employees here, and just to keep that continuity, that was brilliant on your part, I thought.
David,
So.
I am drinking from a fire hose, learning about the different dynamics of the city, and these ladies have the pulse on Ward 3. They know, they have a lot of institutional knowledge about the city and the inner runnings of it. So they are the ones that are kind of helping me keep day to day, making sure that we're keeping the outreach to our constituents that call us, email us with concerns, that we're resolving those as expeditiously as we can.
And we love doing this segment because when you contact the office out there, we want you to know, names, faces. We're not just, bureaucrats down here at City Hall who are kind of sitting behind the glass windows of City Hall. We're real people trying to do a good job every day. And so we love to introduce the people. If you contact the Ward 3 office, obviously Councilwoman Diaz is going to try to make herself available, but she can't be everywhere doing everything, so she has great help along the road. And Idolina Iturralde, also known as Ido, you have worked with the city. You and I have worked together for a number of years, and Susan Finucane, same thing. You've worked with the city, and we've worked together for a number of years as well. And you guys know the ward very well. You guys, what is the biggest help? If someone has an issue or a concern related in the ward, what is the best thing that they can do to let you know of the issue? What are the things you need to really get in there and fix the problem, or begin to fix the problem?
I do like to get the history. Normally I need an address, the basics of the area of concern that you have, and as much details as you can give. A lot of times when pictures are able to be provided, that's best. It helps, and I can share that on with the right department to help us correct any issue out there.
Yeah. And Susan, I know a lot of what you answer at the city is interesting. It's not really the city's jurisdiction, but they don't know who to contact, so they contact the city, and you guys will help route them in the right place. Sometimes it's a city thing that we'll take care of, and if it is, then we'll get on it. But sometimes it's a state issue, or it's a county issue, or even a federal issue, and I know that you guys do a lot to help route it to the right location. But you know what? That's okay. That's what we're here for, and we may not have the answers, but we'll send you in the right direction, don't we?
Correct. Always. We always connect you where you need to go. We have the numbers, the contacts, the people to reach out to. So we get you where you need to be.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Susan, what do you find are some of the most common issues in Ward 3? What are the things that people are really trying to get help with overall?
Homeless.
Yeah.
Homeless is a big problem. We get a lot of calls looking how they can help, you know, where we can send them, where we can get them the help that they need. And then, you know, a lot of times just small items in neighborhoods. It could be trimming a tree where a stop sign is blocked or something, you know, kind of a safety hazard. So little things like that. I mean,
you know, it's interesting you mentioned that, Councilman. So much of what local government is, municipal government is that grassroots effort. It's people right literally where they live. It's not the big arching issues, but it's you know, my neighbor's dog is really barking all the time. What can I do about that? Or it's, hey, you know, I think that there may be squatters living in a house down the street, or whatever it might be, and that's where
we come in, and we want to know, we want to be kept apprised of what's happening in our ward, so that one, the city knows and we know how to be ready to address the challenges that we have, and then two, how can we as a community come together and educate ourselves about the tools that we have in our tool belt to also put into motion and help one another, because code enforcement issues aren't strictly something that we can call in, that's something that people can directly call in as well. And so the more that we know how to channel our, whether it be concerns, whether it be needs that we have, the more we know, the better we can get each other that assistance that is needed.
Yeah, I think as Ito said, just give us the information, as much background as you can give us, and we'll get started on trying to get your problem fixed. Yeah.
A lot of our efforts are also educating people along the way of what they need to know and who the responsible party is. And part of what we do is building the bridge of those resources. You know, maybe there might be an issue that's more related to NV Energy, so we'll make that connection, and then we're aware and we can stay abreast of it as well.
Yeah, no, you know, you guys do a lot of partnerships too with the community, to where the city will work with homeowners groups, not associations, but neighborhood associations, work with them to try to solve broad issues that affect everyone in the community. So that's really key as well. I know that you guys all work very hard to make that happen. So, well, Ito, Susan, thanks so much for being on the show. I know how much you enjoy doing TV appearances. You did great. I knew you would. And we want to tell everybody out there, we always want to hear from you. So if you have something you'd like to share with Councilwoman Diaz or with Ito or with Susan, hey, you can find the Councilwoman on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. She's great on social media. And if you leave a comment, you know, we could use one of your posts on our next show, because we love to hear from you. And you can also contact the Councilwoman just by picking up the phone, 702-229-4623, or send her an email at odiaz@lasvegasnevada.gov, and the Councilwoman or one of these fine ladies will get back to you with whatever your issue is, and we'll try to solve it for you. That's what we're here for. So, well, great job. We'll have you back in 6 weeks with another update from Ward 3. You guys are off the hook maybe until next time around. Okay.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, and I just want to say thank you for your patience to Ward 3 as I'm onboarding and I'm learning all the ins and outs. We're finally getting to a point where we're getting into a stride and a rhythm. So if we haven't contacted you, we will be doing that soon.
Yeah,
thank you.
Good. Sounds good. And we want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Access City Council. Don't miss our next show beginning on August 1st with Ward 4 City Councilman Stavros Anthony. You can catch all of our KCLV shows on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. We'll see you next time right here on KCLV, where we bring city government closer to you. Thanks for watching, everyone.